Welcome to the Kingdom Podcast, featuring Commissioner Christine King, where all voices are heard.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Kingdom Podcast. I am your host, Christine King, Chairwoman of the City of Miami Commission and Commissioner for City of Miami's District 5. We are located here in the historic Overtown in the Lyric Theater, and today my guest is Tracy Wilson Mourning. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a guest on the Kingdom Podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm blessed. Yeah, thank you for having me.
I am so excited to talk about all of the wonderful things that you are doing, mentoring young girls, your program, Honey Shine. How long have you been doing Honey Shine?
Honey Shine, we officially started in 2002.
Wow.
So we've been doing it a long time, over 20 years now.
Yes.
And so Honey Shine is very near and dear to my heart. It's a mentoring program for those that don't know, for young girls. And we started out ages 8 to 18, but now we have even smaller girls and older girls in the program.
And I know it's a wonderful program.
Thank you.
And the love and care that you've put into this program. Tell us, and it's located here in Overtown.
So the youth center is located here in Overtown, but Honey Shine, we're in several schools here in Miami-Dade and now Broward as well. After-school programming we provide.
Oh, wonderful. Uh-huh.
So not just Overtown, but we started out as a once-a-month program for young girls. I used to live here in South Florida when I was a little girl, way down south in Goulds. And I would go, when God brought me back here to Miami, I would go visit Miss Annie Lou Johnson, who used to take care of me. And I'd see groups of girls walking around the neighborhood, house shoes on, some had babies. And I just wonder which one am I out of that group, had it not been for the mommy that I have and
Right.
the women in my life. So once a month, I said we need to get these girls and show them that there's so much more out there. Our workshop started on Miami Beach at Don People's Hotel. That was our first back in the day. And I realized that once a month touch wasn't enough because it was like starting over each time.
Right.
So we started a summer camp, and that was a week long at Carrollton, a Sacred Heart school here, beautiful campus in Miami. And then now we're a 6-week long summer camp that we do every year, and that's over 20 years as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And it is true with the touches because you almost need daily affirmations, because the attacks that come, particularly for our young people, and there's so much negative energy, even social media. There's so much negative energy that you need someone to reinforce every day positivity in their lives. And just knowing that someone believes in you, that someone thinks that you can accomplish what people think are successes, makes such a tremendous difference in the lives of our young people, our young girls.
Absolutely. I know for me, even as an adult woman, those daily affirmations are very important. On my way here, I was talking to myself and talking to God, and just reminding myself that you can prosper through everything and
Absolutely.
grow through everything.
And self-talk is the worst.
Yes.
And they don't know this. We have the experience of living some years, but just coming up, they don't know this. I don't know how I made it through. By the grace of God, made it to where I am today. And I try to take every opportunity that I have to be kind to a young person, to answer any questions that they may have. And these programs really weren't around when we were coming up. You may have had Girl Scouts. You absolutely did have Girl Scouts, right? But I couldn't go to Girl Scouts because my mom was a single parent, and we were latchkey kids. We had to go home after school, and there weren't programs that she would have felt comfortable enough leaving me after school or what have you, I had to be with my brother.
Right.
It was the two of us, and we had to get home and mentor each other.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, I also didn't have that growing up, but what I did have, and I'm so grateful for it, and a big part of the reason, another reason why I started Honey Shine was because of my mom. She was the best mentor. Politically incorrect, mouth like a sailor, call you everything but a child of God in every way. But just her strength and her courage and her wisdom, and Miss Annie Lou and Mama Rainey. So it wasn't mentors that were individuals in my life that were labeled mentors, but looking back now, they were the pillars in my life.
And you had that, like my mom, very strong woman, worked at the same company for 37 years, immigrant from Guyana. Our neighbor, Mrs. Goins, who watched out for us. If she thought we weren't doing something right, she would smack us. And she was a nurse, so you saw successful women. They weren't trying to be mentors. My mom wasn't trying to be a mentor. Right. She was my mom, and she was doing the best that she could. And through her strength, getting up every day, going to work, working hard, taking care of us, putting food on the table, those traits, those qualities are instilled in me. And then teachers.
Yes.
I had some fantastic teachers that I thought, wow, Miss Bessie LeGrant, who gave me a love of reading and literature and English. And I saw her recently during the storm. She came to pick up some sandbags, and I was so happy to see her and to be able to tell her what an impact she made on me. But having programs like Honey Shine for multiple girls, and they could talk about their experiences where we really couldn't do that, that's a game changer for our community.
Yeah.
And then puts you on the track to college, and anything is possible.
Right, for sure. College is a huge part of our conversations with our honeybugs. When I first started this, our girls weren't talking about college, the first groups of girls. And that wasn't even on their radar. But, my mom, I used to live here in South Florida, but we moved away because my mother didn't feel like I was being educated. And she would always say, Tracy, if they can keep you uneducated, they can control you.
Right.
And I had no idea what she was talking about. You think this great wizard behind a curtain. But it wasn't until I had children of my own and then started working with our kids in the community where there was a time before the Overtown Youth Center where 2 out of 12 were graduating from high school in Overtown. And, over 90% of our kids go off to college or vocational or some form of higher learning. And that truly is a game changer. You have to have a love for learning.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I say to young people that I speak to is, do what you love. It's not necessarily the path that's going to lead you to college, because there are so many things that you can do now.
Yeah.
But do what you love. And if you do what you love, it won't feel like a job when you're doing what you love and you're being true to yourself. And in being able to do that, you can find your way. Yeah. And I tell everybody, this is a journey. You have traditional students, you have non-traditional students like myself. I didn't leave high school and go straight to college and finish in 2-3 years and go on to law school. I took the road differently traveled, but I got there. I got to whatever destination I was supposed to get to, and I'm still getting where I'm going, because I won't get there until I close my eyes eventually. But it's important for us to share that with our girls so that they could know. And maybe, you veer off and have a baby, but that's not the end of the world.
Right.
That's not going to deter you from realizing your dreams. Might make it a smidge harder.
And not about you any longer.
Right. Now you have to take care of a whole nother person. Yeah. but it's not the trap that it may have been 20, 30 years ago, or what someone may have felt as a trap, and now you can't achieve greatness, and you absolutely can.
Absolutely.
So what's new with Honey Shine, and what's coming up that we should know about?
Well, what's new? Like I said, we are now expanding into after-school programming in Broward as well. So that's always exciting. And our goal, my goal, and our team's goal is to have Honey Shine throughout the state, across the country. We've done programming in Houston, in Dallas, and in Los Angeles, and working on a relationship, a partnership with the continent of Africa in Ghana.
That's great.
So that is on the horizon, and we also have our annual Hats Off Luncheon coming up, and that's in April 24th, and that's one of our largest fundraisers for summer camp. We started out with Hats Off, at Nikki Beach. Back in the day, we had maybe 40 people, and then at our largest at Parrot Jungle, had close to 600 people.
Wow.
And it's where we come together. Everyone wears fun hats, and we celebrate our honey bugs. And this year we're doing something in honor of my mom. She transitioned in 2020, and I speak of her as she's still here. It's hard to still say not here, but we're presenting a local leader with an award, the Phenomenal Woman Award, and in honor of my mom, because of what she represents. And, we've selected someone in the community that represents that as well.
That's
wonderful. That's in April.
And it's a wonderful way to honor your mom.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So we will be looking out for that. And I'm going to say that again. It's in April 24th. It's the annual
Hats Off
Luncheon. Everybody who's listening, everybody who's watching, please come get a ticket. Come and support our young girls to make sure that we are raising the future. Because I think women make phenomenal leaders.
Absolutely.
We are
Absolutely.
we are a little more thoughtful in our leadership and less reactive.
Yeah.
We're not as or at least with my colleagues, using my colleagues. I have 4 wonderful commissioners that I work with. They're 4 male, Hispanic, Cuban men, and they can be quite passionate in their approach to service.
That's how we're describing it, passionate.
That's how I'm describing it. That's how I always describe them, passionate.
Yes.
And, sometimes it's a challenge with the 4 of them, but I love them all differently. Mm-hmm. And so I would love to see more women. Yeah. I'm but one of 5, and we had, for a time, there were 2 women on the commission, but that was very short-lived. And but I think, we should see more women serving.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. We need that. And it's so unfortunate that, women are held to a different standard, and your credentials have to look a certain way. And then you find that that's still not enough, compared to others who may share that space. And I'm sure you also find that on your commissioner's board, that's not the only place where you are the only one.
No. And then when you break it down to women of color, that's you narrow the field even more. Yeah. So it is something, but it's an honor to serve and to have a platform to engage folks and to educate folks and to make a difference in the community. I love it. I love supporting programs like your program. We have a lot of programs here in Overtown that support our youth, and I know that in doing so, we are making a better tomorrow for our communities.
Absolutely.
Now, in addition to Honey Shine, what else do you have going on? Because I know that's not the only thing. In addition to being a mom, you're an entrepreneur. What else are you engaging in these days?
Oh, a lot of things. But for sure, you mentioned being a mom. I'm a mother of 3, 2 boys and a boss, my girl, my daughter. And that is very fulfilling and takes a lot of time. My daughter's on the autistic spectrum, so she's 24 now. My oldest son's 28. My youngest is 15. But my boss, God willing, she and I will be together for a long time, so she fills a lot of time. And I also design clothing. I have a collection of clothing. It's called L.O.V.E, Living on Vacation Every Day.
Oh.
And and L.O.V.E is L.O.V.E, Living on Vacation Every Day. And it's just really fun resort where I travel in it all the time. First Lady Michelle Obama put us in People magazine as one of her favorite things.
Really?
So I've been doing that, and I love doing that.
And where could you find your clothes? Because I love comfortable clothes. I travel a lot also.
You can call me anytime, and I will send you pictures or anything
I
you
would
want.
love
but
that.
you can go to the website as well.
Now, do you have clothes that would address different sizes?
Different sizes,
petites?
different heights, So with my clothing, too, I'm very much making it work. So you tie the bottom. Dresses are long, but they're so great to tie up at the bottom. I do that a lot when I travel. So we have long, short, different sizes, a variety of sizes. So, yes, we have something for you.
And the fabrics are...
Yeah, the fabrics are fabulous, and it varies. It depends on what the season, what we're doing that season. They're produced in India. So I spend a lot of time with that, and I love that.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that, yes,
Thank
because
you.
we need to be comfortable and find... I like, when you travel, it's so... For me, I hate traveling. It's so uncomfortable. So I try to be as comfortable with my clothing. I take a blanket with me, my blanket. And all just comforts to get me through that flight. Actually, flying from here to Atlanta is torture for me.
Is it?
It is torture for me.
I take that trip often, and I guess maybe I've gotten used to it. But... yeah, I don't find the Atlanta flight so bad.
And everyone's like, oh, it's less than 2 hours. It is torture for me. And I've taken to sitting in first class, and I have anxiety just sitting on that plane.
Yeah.
So I try to figure out how to reduce the anxiety, and I know it's with what I'm wearing, my blanket, the neck pillow, good reads, that kind of music. And
breath work.
Yes. So
I understand that too, though. There's certain flights where you can get anxious or feel like, let me out right now.
Yes. So anything else happening?
Well,
I saw you in D.C., so I know you are part of the political scene and want to be, rah for our electeds, right? Because that's important.
For our electeds.
Our electeds.
Not participating.
No.
Other than voting and speaking up.
Right. That. Not, I know you don't want to be an elected, but I know you're engaged.
Yes,
and we have to be engaged because we want to elect the right people to office, and so that they could be reflective of what is important to our community.
Absolutely.
So
it's so important. I think back to my mom all the time. When I say she was politically incorrect, anything would come out of her mouth at any point in time. It didn't matter who it was, but she's a truth teller, and I appreciate that. And with the political atmosphere and the climate that this country has had for the past few years, it's just unfortunate that there are so many individuals with personal agendas that aren't the people's agenda.
Right.
And so hopefully that will shift, and we will have more individuals such as yourself and anyone else out there who's passionate about service the way you are, to come on board to ensure that there's a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, our Congresswoman Frederica Wilson is doing what she can. She has a fantastic mentoring program, and she's grown it from 500 to 5,000. And, it's those kinds of things that keep me encouraged, to keep me going, because I know this is bigger than myself. Yeah. It's bigger than what you're doing. And those girls that you are mentoring, they're going to grow up and be mentors.
Yeah. They come back and serve. We have honeybugs that have come back to work in the program. They work summer camp. They work now at OIC, some of them. So that's the rewarding part.
Yes.
We even have honeybugs whose kids are now in the program.
Oh, wow.
Like, that really blows my mind.
Yes.
I'm thinking, I'm not old enough for that.
Right,
yeah.
right. But that is full circle moment.
Full circle,
It is a full circle moment.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
So I have a portion of this podcast where I ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
It's don't give it too much thought.
Okay.
What are you reading now? What's your favorite book if you have one?
Last night and this morning, the Bible. All in.
Okay.
All in. Another book I picked up today was a book on Kabbalah. Another book that I have on my nightstand that I love and refer back to often because I think it's such a great read. I believe it's really written for men, but women benefit so much. It's called Way of the Superior Man.
Okay.
And I really enjoy that book. I have I have books everywhere. Like, I have a lot of banned books, things that are tough to come by. I have a lot of history books, a lot of Black history books. I again get that from my mom as well. But anything, I will just snatch a book off the shelf, and it's not that I'm going to read it from front to back, but just something in it. You know?
I'm an avid reader. I read every day, and I really think that is one of the universal traits of successful people.
Yeah.
They read.
Yeah.
They read. And I read recently, someone said, someone who knows how to read, who doesn't read, is worse than someone who cannot read. Yeah. It's worse.
Yeah, and I feel like with our young people, that's really a thing. I stay on my son, especially my youngest, about that, because their phones are right in their hands. And they're like, books? What do you mean?
Right.
I'm like, you're surrounded. You need to pick up books
But
to see.
books transport you anywhere. A great book will transport you anywhere.
Yeah.
And my youngest, my daughter, has now picked up a love of reading, and I'm so thrilled when she tells me, "Oh, I'm reading this or I'm reading that," because when she was younger, she would not. She would not. Yeah. She's an artist, and she would just spend all her time creating art. But now she's so into reading, and I'm like, wow,
I love
it's
that.
rubbing off. It's rubbing off.
And I'm working on a book as well. I haven't finalized it yet, but I've been working on that for a while. So
that's exciting, too.
I will have a new book for you.
That's exciting. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that when it gets published.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite song, a theme song?
That changes every day. It can go from gospel. I love Yolanda Adams.
Yes.
Like,
she is gifted.
I mean, anything she sings, I can go from that to ratchet real quick. Like, there's a balance. So any theme song, Living My Life Like It's Golden, Jill Scott.
Yeah, I love that.
So many. And what's really telling of where I am in life is that I know a song when it comes on. I can't tell you who sings it or what the name of it is anymore. We used to have the albums and the CDs where all of that information was there and the words. And I love country music too because of my daughter. Like taking her to school or in the car with her. She's the DJ, so you'll get everything.
Oh.
Yeah, even Christmas in July.
Yeah. How about if you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would you like to break bread with and why?
That I haven't done before?
Oh, it could be somebody you've
I would love to eat with my mommy again.
one more time.
Yeah, and her food and
Yeah,
I would love that. I'd love to play cards with her again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so my mommy, but outside of my mommy, I love Dr. Maya Angelou. Yeah, my mama and Dr. Maya Angelou, that'd be a good balance.
Those are two great choices.
Yeah.
And if you could give your 18-year-old self advice, what would you tell yourself?
To trust God every step of the way. That God is with you every step of the way. Like I had an idea who God was as a child. I always had a relationship or connection, but I truly didn't get to know God in an intimate way until I was in my late 20s. And the relationship has continued to evolve over time. But for sure, I would do that. And, don't worry. Don't worry, because God takes care of everything. Everything.
It is
and
true.
Worry's a waste
we
of
spend
time.
so much time worrying, and then when you look back, what were you worrying about? It worked itself out.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a guest on the Kingdom podcast.
Thank you for
I so
having
enjoyed
me.
having you, and I can't wait to have you back when you get your book published.
Yes, I look
and again,
forward to it.
tell everyone when the
Hats
Hats Off.
So it's April 24th, and you can go to honeyshine.org to get more information there. You can go to Overtown Youth Miami to get information on the Overtown Youth Center that we have. And you can go to L.O.V.E by TWM, Living on Vacation Every Day.
Okay, and we will do that. And I will also post it on my socials on Instagram. So if you guys forget or something, go to I Am Christine King, and you'll see all of the information to participate. And that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you for joining me.